Today's Ask Me Anything goes out to Alpine160, who's actually responding to a video that I posted, which is obviously about how I like people to have their dogs on leashes. But here's his Alpine's response. I'm assuming you're a man. I don't know. Women argue with me all the time too, so it doesn't matter. It says, I'm sorry, but somewhat disagree. I'm from the UK, Northeast. 99% of dog owners where I'm from allow their dogs to run free together, play, and get along. Rarely do we have any issues. The thoughts of owners here is, knowing how 99% of dog owners allow dogs to mix, the person with a dog that is known to be aggressive and bites, regardless if on or off leash, is the person with the problem, and should take steps to not allow their dog to bite. Then keeping their aggressive dog on leash and using that as their get out of jail card is totally irresponsible. We're going to really have an argument on this one. Having the mindset because their dog is aggressive, everyone else should keep their dog confined to a lead is ridiculous. Them leaving the house thinking they're not going to come in contact with a free dog for whatever reason is crazy. I love your logic here. Is crazy, is ridiculous. Okay. A dog that bites should never be in public with the chance of biting without a muzzle. I can speak from experience at the cost of serious injury to my dog. I was walking past a garden with my dog off lead to heel. There was a dog behind the fence. My dog was grabbed by the Alsatian Akita mix. Bad mix to start with right there. I'll get shit for that. I know I'm going to get shit for that. Grabbed by the Alsatian mix through a missing fence board and had its nice thing, its neck and lip nearly ripped clean off. The owner tried to use the get out of jail card. My dog was off lead. His dog was on a private land. He was spoken to by RSPCA and police, but wasn't prosecuted as no person was injured. Before you come looking for me to lynch me, stop. I agree that someone with a dog that's uncontrollable shouldn't have their dogs off lead. But to say every dog should have the obedience as Robert's dogs before they are off lead is off the mark. People's pets trained to that level are 1 in a million. Well, okay, so you've got actually a really nice point that, my dogs are trained better than a million other dogs, and I don't disagree with that. But, here's the issue where we're going to get off target, is if you have an aggressive dog, and you might not even have an aggressive dog, you may just have a dog that's kind of reactive to situations. I'll give you an example. Maya, for example, if a dog runs up off leash and Maya's on leash and they get in Maya's face, she's going to come unglued, right? Now, to say that I don't have a right to have that dog or to take her in public is wrong. Because if a dog is in control, which is on a leash, it doesn't have to wear a muzzle, because another dog shouldn't run up to that dog's face. That's improper. That's bad training. In other words, my dogs don't run up to other dogs' faces if they're off leash. Now, if your dog is off leash and it runs up and gets in another dog's face, then that dog is making a mistake, because it's not, we live in this world where, everybody should be friendly and everybody should be this and everybody should be that. And, then people are getting raped and murdered and all these things because people are getting stupid. Right? If you go into someone's hotel room and they're wearing a bathrobe, a man wearing a bathrobe, that's a bad decision, right? So when you have a dog that's off leash and you let that dog go into the face of another dog, that's a bad decision, especially if that dog is off leash. Now, granted that you have your friends and you and your friends go run around with your dogs off leash and they have a great time, I think that's fantastic. I think that's really great. I do that with my dogs and my friends too. But I keep my dogs on leash when I'm in the presence of another dog, right? When I'm walking my dog down the street, I don't walk my dogs off leash. Nobody I know that has very well-trained dogs to my level, beneath, or above, and there are probably a couple dogs in the world that are better trained than mine, but they never keep those dogs off leash in uncontrollable situations. Like if there's other dogs around, they don't let their dogs run up to those dogs. They keep their dogs controlled. So you have your dogs off leash, right, hypothetically, and somebody who loves their dog, but their dog is reactive to another dog. Or let's say the dog is old, and your dog runs in the face of that dog, and that dog, they get in a scrap. That's your fault because you let your dog run up to that dog, and you couldn't control that dog and pull the dog back. Right? If my dog is running up to another dog, including Maya, including Goofy, or any of our other dogs, and they run up to that other dog, and I call them back, they're going to come back. There's no doubt in my mind about that. And until they can do that, I'm not going to let them off leash because I care about my dogs. People who let their dogs run off leash and have this free-for-all attitude, And I mean, maybe it's different in Northern England. I don't know. But in the United States, here in California where I live, most people that let their dogs off leash are completely irresponsible. Completely irresponsible. Because they're lazy. They want to show off. They want to pretend their dogs are okay. I go down to the dog park, you know, right here. Janet and I were at the park the other day, and this guy is going to let his dog run around, and I'm trying to train my dog. Now, my dog's off leash, but my dog's under control and trained, and his dog keeps running up to my dogs. Now, sometimes they'll come over and they'll piss on my equipment, which I hate. They'll come over and they'll start interfering with the training, which, if it's a distraction, I love it. But if the dog is running off leash into me while I'm training, that dog's going to get corrected, and I'm going to correct it, and I don't care what you say. I don't want your dog running in the face of my dog. That's just the way I am. I don't like people getting in my face, I don't like dogs getting in my face, and I don't like dogs getting in the face of my dog. And my dogs don't like dogs getting in the face of their dog. So all around, the bottom line is, if you can control your dog completely, then have them off leash. There's no quandary, because you have your dog completely under control. But if you have a dog and you love your dog, for example, Bozman, when he was on leash, he got attacked. He was on leash and got attacked by an off-leash dog. And that's bullshit, right? That is complete bullshit. Thank God I wasn't there that day, because the dog that did it wouldn't be alive. Now, if a dog runs up to my dog and they're going to get in the face of my dog, now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get in the face of that dog and push him away. And I know I'm going to do it. Now, if they get around me and my dog gets a hold of them, it's a whole nother story. So if your dog is off leash and you have your dog under complete control, great, but I guarantee you don't. I don't think most people have that. And if you're in a park or you're in the, out in the woods or somewhere, wherever you are, whatever it is like in Northern England, I'm sure it's quite beautiful, then, and your dogs are all there, I think that's fantastic. But you must be able to call your dogs back to you if someone is trying to do the right thing. They're trying to be responsible and they're doing the right thing by having their dog on leash. An on-leash dog is a well-contained and safe dog, right? Another dog running into them, that's stupid. That's just really stupid. So I hope you understand that. I hope that makes sense. And if you got a question, ask me anything.